In today's video, I'm going to talk about money because at the end of the day, if you're watching this video, that's probably ultimately all we really care about. My name's Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and currently we are doing 60K a month in revenue. And today I'm going to talk about the differences of how I feel from when I first started and when I hit my first really like 10K a month, really the most significant milestone for me, and to what I'm doing now, which is 60K a month. And I make these videos really just to document my own journey and kind of share a little bit about, my experiences and hopefully impede or rather place some knowledge onto you guys. As you can see here, I'm in my beautiful studio, AKA my bedroom. And that is kind of like a nice segue in terms of what I want to talk about. Honestly, the difference in my lifestyle and more importantly, how I feel, there's no difference between when I was making 10K a month and when I was, where I am now, which is 60K a month. I am no happier than when I was just starting out. If anything, my motivations have changed a little bit. So I want to we all know this, we hear it like a million times, money doesn't buy happiness. It absolutely doesn't, because I know for me, my thinking, I remember when I was in a call with somebody and my thinking was, I remember telling him, I was like, I'm so excited. I just want to hit my first 10K month, right? And that feeling I still have, except the goalpost now is moved from 60K a month, or rather 10K a month, to 100K a month. I was at 0, then I got to 10, I got to 60, and now I want to make 100. Nothing has changed, and that chasing the dragon feeling is still kind of there for me. I have learned that the money does not buy happiness. Like I swear to God, like the only nice thing, and that sounds so corny, I get it. The only nice thing I've bought is this watch, and the only things that have changed about my lifestyle is I have a nicer apartment. Now, what has the money done for me? It has definitely alleviated a lot of worry. Okay, I no longer worry too much about if I can pay rent or, if I lose a client, does it ruin my life? That has gone. Now, those feelings, the absence of them, do not correlate to happiness. And the reason I'm saying this is really more just to reaffirm it myself. The things that have made me happy are my friends, my community, my romantic relationships. That stuff has made me happy, and I have found that in the last 2 years, I have definitely prioritized the work over those things. Do I regret that? Not at all, because I am now in a position where I don't have to worry about other stuff, and that worry would have permeated those friendships and those relationships anyway. So the money definitely has made me happier, but has alleviated my risk. Now, the chasing the dragon feeling, I think that never goes away. Like I'm constantly trying to make something bigger and better and better and bigger. And the reason I say this is because I think the idea that you're gonna make enough and that feeling is gonna go away is false. That feeling is gonna be there forever. For me, I have found the benefits, it's really the lack of removal of like risk for me. I will say as well though, I definitely have a little bit more confidence and pride. I know for me, I carry myself with a little bit more weight, knowing that I've put myself into a position with my business that makes me feel a little bit more confident. It's just a confidence thing. I now know that I am not, when you first start your business, you feel like you're faking it till you're making it kind of thing. As I've gone to this stage in my business, I no longer feel that. I'm no longer like, faking. I don't feel like I have a conversation, I say to somebody, I'm a business owner, and I don't feel like I'm lying. And I definitely carry myself, I think, with a bit more weight, and I think people see that as well. So I don't want to make this video too long and drony, because we all know the myth, right? Like more money, more happiness, it's bullshit. But I do think the money does two things, removes risk and also kind of gives you a little bit more confidence. Now those things are separate from happiness. And I think it's really important to have a point in mind where you're like, hey, the incremental gain in terms of more money, what that's gonna give to me. So for me, here's an example. If I wanted to make, $500,000 a year, I know that the compromise on my lifestyle and the gain I would get from that $500,000 don't balance. I would have to significantly compromise my relationships, my romantic relationships, my friendships, my hobbies to get to that 500,000, and that 500,000 a month wouldn't make me any happier. but the cost would make me significantly less happy. Now, yes, it would alleviate even more risk. I'd be able to never worry about money again, probably. And I would probably be more confident in different rooms, but it's just, at this stage of my life, it doesn't feel like it's worth it. Now, I'm still trying to continuously grow my business. That's still something I really want to do, but I'm not doing it at the expense of like my happiness or, you know, my friendships. I will say as well, the confidence in rooms things I have learned is a never-ending ladder. For example, when I was making 10K a month, I was intimidated by people who were making 20K a month. I was like, man, I wish I could get that. I don't feel like I'm up to scratch. I'm not as good as them. But then I got to 20K a month, and then I did feel good around those 20K a month people, but then the same thing happened to 30, 40, 50, 60. It's the exact same thing. It's just in a different room. The ladder you're gonna forever be climbing. And I don't think you're ever gonna escape that if you benchmark your self-worth on those sorts of numbers. And one thing I've learned with business is that you have to benchmark yourself not on like the numerical values, but your value system and how you approach negotiations, being transparent, honest, being a good person. That stuff is relative to you as an individual, and you'll never get that comparison, intimidation sort of thing if you benchmark yourself against those intrinsic things to yourself rather than these material objects, like who has a nicer watch, right? And this isn't even a crazy nice watch, I just want to be clear. Because it's the exact same, it's like an exact example. The nicer watch, you just keep trying to climb that ladder. Don't put your self-worth in that stuff, right? That's one thing I've learned as well. I make these videos really just to share what I've learned, document my journey. So if you like them, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And if you have any questions, shoot me a message. I'd love to share my knowledge.